The unusual warm weather has reminded me of my childhood growing up in Scottsdale, Arizona. There was always something fun to do. Since our summers were extremely hot, most of the time it had to do with water. We could spend hours and hours swimming in our backyard pool with friends and family. Splashing, jumping, and diving, and learning to swim at a young age was a necessity in order to survive the long hot summers. Sometimes you had to get creative in your quest just to stay cool. As I got older, the fun only intensified. It wasn't unusual to spend the day tubing down the Salt River, lazily drifting with the current while soaking up the sun, or hiking through the desert watching the wildlife scurry from one morsel of shade to another, just trying to stay cool. We'd spend weekends boating, water skiing, or jet skiing at one of the many lakes. If you're feeling a little more adventurous, there's four-wheeling through the rocky desert terrain. As you spend your time outdoors observing the breathtaking views of the Arizona desert, you wondered, how did it all survive? During most years, Arizona gets less than 10 inches of rain for the entire year, and the days are extremely hot. The desert floor is sandy and full of rocks and gravel. So what type of vegetation can thrive in this environment? Most desert plants have adapted their physical structure to survive the harsh environment. They have adapted in two primary ways. First is their ability to collect and store water, and second, their physical makeup reduces the amount of water that is evaporated from its leaves. Desert plants have an expansive, long root system. Some of the smaller plants have very long, shallow roots that capture even the most minute amount of rain, while the larger plants or trees have extremely long root systems that extend down to the natural water table. Also, the leaves are quite different from the leaves of the Midwest tree. Some are thin and long, while others are thick with a protective waxy coating that keeps the moisture in and evaporation out. If you look at the saguaro cactus as it majestically reaches towards the sky in a landscape that typically lacks visual height, you will see it looks different from most other plants and trees. All of its water is stored in the stem of the cactus. Photosynthesis occurs at the top layer of the stem instead of the leaves. Their roots stretch far below the base of the plant, searching out every bit of moisture the earth has to offer. Another type of plant that thrives in the desert is the barrel cactus. Unlike the tall saguaro, it is small and compact. It also stores water in the stem of the plant. In times of little rain, the cactus becomes thinner, using the water it has stored. After a storm, the cactus plumps up, hoarding all the water it possibly can so it can maintain its existence until the next rain. Many desert plants have long, thick leaves. These leaves store water, and because of their shape, water loss is minimal. The aloe vera plant is an example of this. It has long, thick leaves that are covered with a waxy surface that acts like a plastic wrap to hold the moisture in. The inside of the aloe vera plant has long been used by doctors and families as a way to soothe the pain of sunburn. The Joshua tree and the mesquite tree also have characteristics of a desert plant. They are a taller tree, but their leaves are only at the top branches and they are long, narrow, and wispy. After rain is when the desert explodes with color. Most desert plants germinate after a heavy rain and they complete their reproductive cycle quickly. These plants only bloom for a few weeks and then go dormant, but during these few weeks, the desert floor is a carpet of color. As you can see, whether you're a human trying to survive the heat of the day or a plant trying to survive to the next day, adaptations are made to make the long days of summer bearable in the hot desert sun.